Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacey, and today for our Sunday sketch session video, hello, it's Sunday sketch session time. We're going to do spring flowers. I'm in my nature book, which I think I worked in the last time. These are Posca pen drawings on the covers. And yeah, I just want to pop it open and work on some sketches. Spring related sketches. Let's find a blank page. Did I go too far? I did. I went too far. And this is one of those lay flat sketchbooks. I tried painting in it when I first got it, but it's glued together, so if you get it wet in the middle here, the glue comes undone and the pages fall out. So we don't paint in this one very much anymore, unless it's, you know, framed in on one of these 2 pages with, you know, washi tape or whatever, and, you know, segmented to not be wet in the middle. Try to steer clear from that. I moved all my pencils off the table. So, well, I got colored pencils. Let's grab a colored pencil. We'll grab a metallic azure blue. I keep grabbing this one. It's totally fine. I'm going, whoopsie daisy, I'm going to start with, speaking of daisies, oopsie daisy, we're gonna start with a daisy, and I'm gonna draw the daisy in this azure blue color. And this is gonna be one of those spreads that's, if we're gonna go colored pencil, let's go colored pencil. Now these are my Castle Arts colored pencils. I can show you guys what I have them in. This is a gray, like, snap together bin. The sides snap down and pop back up. And then I have my little individual cups, which are super cute, tucked in here. They're plastic, so they're squishy, so they all fit in here quite nicely without breaking the box down. And then if I want to use just a set of these, like these are the pastel tints, and these are the metallics, and then these, and my blending blenders, and then, excuse you, this cup here, this purple cup, is the set of 72 just regular colored pencils. So this is, I have this on my desk, and there's one Prismacolor white in here because Prismacolor makes the best white colored pencil for going over the top of other colored pencils. I know because I bought all the colored pencils in white that I could find and practiced that. I don't think I practiced it on a video, but I did practice it. And then I have all these different blending tools. There's 2 of each. I have the Derwent blender, which is not bad. You can tell which ones I use. This one is really good for blending. The burnisher, not real thrilled with because it tends to mute your colors really quickly. I'm not a big fan of those. I use them every once in a while, but this puppy right here, this is my favorite. I have 2 of them. They're sharpenable, so you can sharpen them. These are the Caran d'Ache full blenders. Full blender, bright, Swiss made by Caran d'Ache is what it says on the barrel. And it's one of those coatless, it's not coated with anything, it's just pure blender, which this is my favorite. So those live in this bin as well. So there you go. That's my colored pencil bin. Stuff you wanted to know. So we're going to start with colored pencils. Let's, right here. So, spring has sprung. Super happy about that. We're supposed to get like 70 and 80 degree weather throughout the week coming up. The weekend is pretty chilly. It's only in the 30s, I think, today. 30s and 40s during the day, and then dropping down to like 20 something at night. So, with that in mind, I've been super looking forward to the week, this week as it comes. You know, that's not the one. That's not the one. Really looking forward to the warm weather and sitting out on the patio and just being in the sunshine and getting out and going for walks and stuff. So very happy about that. All right, now let's draw our petals. We're gonna stick with the yellow for now. And a good way to do this, if you can, like center this up, is draw, especially if it's a front-facing flower that's completely circular, draw yourself a little border so that all your petals are kind of the same length. And then you can get in there and really quickly sketch out your situation, and then all your petals will be, you know, uniform. And your flower won't look wonky. I mean, it still could look wonky, I guess. You could totally make it look wonky if you want to. I'm going to go in here and get in some cute petal shapes. Let's get this guy in. He's kind of on his own over here, being bold and daring. Then we've got this guy right here. And then these ones are back behind. This one's back behind there. Not quite as long. Now we've got another one that's back behind, that's right through here. And then let's go over here. Let's see. There. This guy. Back behind. The ones that are behind could be colored in a bit. That one's behind that, and this one's behind that one. I mean, I know the flower's white, but art, you can do whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. And there's one back there. This guy. Let's see. These guys are all layered. Layered and layers and layers of petals like that. And we have another one that's standing out in the crowd right here. And all his friends are back behind, like waiting in the wings. What's going on, man? Did you get the tickets for the movie? Yeah, I got the tickets for the movie. Are we going in? Yeah, we're going in. Apparently my flower petals are going to the movies. There, and then let's put a stem in right about here. Come down. Maybe I can see it in the wings, just right there. Fun times. And the stems on daisies are pretty thick, so we can get in there and do that. Taking this blue, but last time I checked, flower stems were blue. Neptune green. Still pretty blue. Alright, let's get out of the metallics and go into regular greens. Regular green over the top of the Neptune blue. And then a little bit of yellow. Right there. Like that. And do we like that? I think we do. Has this been in focus the whole time? I haven't even looked. I hope so. These things happen when you're videoing, and I don't know why, but I feel rushed right now. What are you? Terracotta. That's a good color for accenting the center of our daisy. Like that. Getting in some little markings and shadows and scribbly lines. I've been really into my colored pencils lately. If you're new and you've never been here, this is an art channel and I do pretty long format videos for the most part because I like to do long format videos. It's my fave. And let's get in here with some of this blue, and just for fun we're going to do blue shadows. Where the petals meet. The colored pencil, I've done a poison and dart frog tutorial. It's time-lapsed, and if you guys want a long format colored pencil tutorial, you have to let me know in the comments below, because colored pencil videos take a hot minute. Like, they're going to be 2 to 3 hours long. Not that I can't do a 2 to 3 hour long video. I totally can. It's just one of those things. Why is there a weird shadow? Oh, I don't have the overhead light on. Duh. 1 second. Did that help? Hopefully that helps. I have a weird shadow on the page. Oh, because the window's open. The curtains are open and it's super bright outside. So I'll try to keep that in mind and keep my arm in such a way that I'm not casting a big shadow over the page. But this is the Sunday sketch session video where we're just doodling in a sketchbook. Sometimes my doodles in the sketchbook are pretty finished, and most of the time they're not. Most of the time it's just me scribbling on the page for fun. And any really truly finished pieces are done while I'm watching TV and zoning out and not paying attention to what I'm doing. So there's the daisy, and then how do I, let's see, get rid of, and then you can go back in and pick up that yellow line. Maybe not with the gum eraser. I found my gum eraser to not be as desirable lately. This guy that I got this in one of my art boxes, my Paletteful Packs box, which for this year I'm not signed up to. Next year I'm going to resubscribe to an art box, I just haven't decided which one yet. So you can go ahead and erase most of this line here. And if you do your, excuse me guys, come on. Jeez. See, that still looks like a daisy. Oh, that looks actually pretty cool. You know what we can do? Where's that palette? Oh, I need to move that back. I don't know which one is on top. Yeah, we could use the Graphitints. These live on my desk. I have the Graphitints, Derwent Graphitints set and the Derwent Pastel Shades set. I love these little palettes. They're fantastic. They live on the desk along with my core watercolor palettes, which also live on the desk. Mostly those two live on the desk because the core ones, because they're ceramic, and I don't have a little tray to put them in to shift them over into the watercolor area. I'm looking for a paintbrush in front of me and there's not one in front of me. Now there's one. Go ahead and grab this mud and put in some autumn brown and maybe some of this meadow green. The only thing I found with these is they look very soapy, which is weird. Pop some meadow green. This is usually how I use watercolor in my sketchbook. She says in her super soft voice. I've noticed that my voice kind of goes down when I'm when I'm concentrating. But this is generally how I use my watercolors, is to just create a swooshy border around my petals, or like that. Make it pop. Make it pop off the page. we can just gently go around all of those guys, like that. Now, went and saw, onto the story time of our video, which is pretty normal for me. I went and saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie yesterday. It was okay. It was fun and funny and a little silly. Definitely more kid-oriented than adult-oriented. Kind of, I just felt more for kids than for adults. And I was expecting more, I think, too, because I have the Avatar movie in my head, which was amazing. If you haven't seen the Avatar movies, you definitely need to see the Avatar movies because they're awesome. That's just my opinion. You know, take it for what you will. But yeah, I was a little underwhelmed with overall, like just in my overall feeling when the movie was done was, it was cute. I mean, yeah, fine, whatever. And, a little campy, a little silly. The chubby dragon in it was, the most noteworthy part for me was the chubby dragon. And the owl bear, which was super cool. I mean, anybody who loves owls as much as I do, you know, the owl bear character was pretty cool. That particular character, the one that could change into animals, was super fun. But overall, the movie kind of left me feeling a little disappointed. I was expecting more because the game, I mean, is so popular, right? And wow, that's super muddy around there. Maybe we'll wet that. And wow, getting down to the last of my tissues. It's all right. I'll just blot it so it's more of a tint. Good enough. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. A white flower on white paper. Meh. But the movie was, I mean, if you're looking for good fun, like light entertainment, definitely go see it. But it is definitely kid-friendly, in my mind, to my point of view. I would take my children to see it when they were young. But my kids and I went to the movies all the time when they were little. They're always really good in the movie theater, too. Or restaurants or whatever. I always got compliments. Your kids are so well behaved. Thank you? It always left me feeling a little uncomfortable. Like, shouldn't they be? Like, I mean, thank you, but I mean, I feel like if you're going to bring your kids out in public, they should behave themselves. Not a lot of children do. But I had, if my kids were fussy or, you know, at nap time or whatever, we just stayed home. That was probably why they were so good in public, is because I didn't take them out in public when they were being monsters. Alright, let's move on. Let's do a different flower. I'm treating my screen like it's a touch screen. This is not my Kindle. It is not a touch screen. And we have let's use this. What is this? Terracotta. I don't normally draw in the color, but I don't want to go too light because then you guys won't be able to see it. Lavender light? Meh. What is this one? This one is purple light. Let's try that one. And I broke my white off in there, which is kind of a pain. I need to get an electric pencil sharpener. There we go. This hole gives me super long leads, and then this one, because it's meant for fatter pencils, gives me a super short lead on my other pencils. Magnolias. Let's do some magnolias. I'm going to set that there for this to focus on, because my camera will be out of focus if I don't. And we can go... let's do... So I did that yesterday, and then when I came back I didn't really feel like doing anything art related, so I got food at the store on my way back because I was super hungry. I had not eaten a real meal yet, so I got myself some rice and sesame chicken, which was delicious, and some beer, and came home and popped on the TV. Is that there? Yeah. Decided I was gonna give myself some TV time. And I'm rewatching, because the new season of Mandalorian is out, season 3, which I've been waiting for, because I love The Mandalorian. So I'm rewatching all of that, and I finished up season 2 yesterday so that I could watch season 3 today. I'm not going to watch it till tonight, though. TV time is late tonight. But yeah, looking forward to watching my Mandalorian season 3. Mine. It's all mine. That. Nice heavy pencil lines in some spots. There. So, watched that last night till about midnight. Was it midnight? It might have been 1 in the morning, I don't know. And then I went to bed, and I slept in this morning, got up and had coffee, edited my Patreon video, put that up. Now I'm, did some cleaning up of the area, because this whole desk was a disaster. I'll go this way with this pedal. From doing my sketch sessions back here instead of out in the living room setup, the whole desk was just a disaster. So clean up the area, listen to some Think Media. If you're thinking about creating a YouTube channel, I recommend Think Media for guidance and information. So I was listening to Sean Cannell on Think Media with the newest YouTube algorithms and whatnot. What's going on with shorts and all that jazz. And yeah, I'm playing in the studio, getting things set up for this video, getting things set up for the next video, and yeah. Oh, and I have projects that I'm working on as well that I need to get rolling on. I don't really want this screen, but we'll use it anyways. Like that. There. And then let's put another one right here. Kind of back behind this one. And touching. There's a pedal here, back behind this one. And there's a pedal here. That's roughly shaped. In comparison with this pedal, it's roughly shaped like this. This flower is clearly more open. Or this petal, rather, is just more fully visible on this side. Get this shadow in here. So basically just enjoying my day. We're going to have some really warm days over the next couple of days, so really looking forward to that. Opening up all the windows and feeling the full force of spring weather. Very excited. My favorite seasons are spring and fall. Those are the ones, man. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. Spring, everything's fresh and new. Fall, everything's kind of going to bed for the winter time, and the crisp fall air. I really like that. I don't mind winter in Washington State, but winter in New York State is kind of no. Just a solid no. No thank you. I do not enjoy winter here at all. The snow is pretty when I don't have to go outside. But beyond that, I just don't enjoy being cold and feeling chilly and trapped. And I feel trapped sometimes because my little car doesn't do well in the snow, so I don't feel like I can go out and about as much as I'd like to. And in Washington State, you don't really get. Washington's where I lived for like 30 years. It's where my kids and grandkids are. If you're new to the channel and you haven't heard me talk about where I'm from and my stuff and whatnot, short version, moved back to New York from Washington State after living in Washington for 27 years. It's where my kids and grandkids are, is Washington still. And I was born and raised in New York. So all my family is here in New York. But I needed the adventure of moving out here for the closure and the answers to serious questions like, is this my forever place? Do I want to live here forever? Can I be this far away from my kids? Big picture, full time. Short answer, no. So I'm moving back. I'm actually, my leave date from moving, get that one in, for moving is August 31st. I'm getting in the car and driving back home. Super excited. These are turning out cool. Drawing with colored pencil is fun. If you don't have colored pencils and you want to try them, this brand, Castle Arts, the Castle Arts Soft Touch, are you going to focus for me? Please? Thank you. Soft Touch set of 72 was like, I don't know, $30 or $40. Super inexpensive on Amazon. So if you're thinking about it, they're a good way to go for starter pencils. If you're looking for a starter pencil, I need a pale pink. Just get in here. Throw in a layer of pale pink real quick on these two petals, and then we'll draw something else. I could draw these for quite some time. I like drawing magnolias. They're a very pretty flower. And they're on a tree, right? The magnolia tree. Or is it a bush? I think it's a tree. Pretty sure it's a tree. Talking about things I don't know anything about. Botany. I don't know a thing about it. And let's grab, since I was talking about my blending things, let's grab our blender. Kind of give you guys a visual of what this will do. Maybe a little more pink pigment. Like that. Pretty good layer of pigment. And then you can go in and use your blender. And this is just drawing paper that I'm on in this sketchbook. It's rude. Camera turned off. It is 50 sheets of 67-pound paper. So not very heavy paper. It's just straight up a drawing paper. Nothing fancy. I bought it because it laid flat when I bought this book. I was really looking into the lay flat sketch pads and books, because it is frustrating to draw in a sketch pad that kind of fights you and wants to close. And there's hardly any pink on this one, which is fine. But there's the difference between a super quickly blended flower and a not blended flower. This one you could layer, and you can put a little bit more pigment. Usually once the tooth of the paper is laid flat and pushed down and really burnished in, you can't really put too many more layers of colored pencil on. You know, I just push my luck until the paper starts to fight back and fall apart. The paper's fighting back, man. But it gives you a different feel, right? Which is super nice. And then where'd that white go? Where are you? I have a prism. There you are. Prismacolor white, which I also use for blending. Currently has a little yellow on it, but that's alright. I use this for blending as well. This will mute your pigment. Let's put in a little more pink right here. And then a little more magenta. Super quick. This is just a sketch demo situation. Like I said, if you guys want a full-time colored pencil tutorial, we could do something small like this together, like 2 petals, 2 flowers. That won't take 3 or 4 hours. That'll just take about an hour. But we could go in with the white colored pencil over the top. Light pressure here. Light pressure. Kind of just puts a coat of white on it. But you can also press really hard, like I did down here, and really push that paper in. And doing this part, you want to wait until your last layer of color is on before you do this, because it's going to super smooth and you don't want to use your fingers. I use a lot of oils and lotions. My hands currently are very dry because I just washed them. I have naturally really dry skin, so I use a lot of lotion. I have lotion in every room because my skin's super dry. You don't want to brush off with your hand if you can avoid it. You can use a paintbrush, a gentle soft paintbrush to brush off debris. And I have an actual wand, but I'm not sure where it is. It's an actual brush for, I thought it was in this tray. I have to reorganize the room. But there's a difference between blending with a white colored pencil and blending with a blender, a blending tool. And you can, once again, come in here, put another layer of color on, and then maybe even a little bit of white on top of that where the petal is lighter. Right through here, just a little layer of white. Get back in here with our blending tool and kind of blend that out like that. Maybe I will do a series of like, I'll put the line art up and we can do a couple colored pencil pieces together. How would that be? Anyone interested? I also have blending solution, which is a colored pencil blending. Well, currently currently it's in this little container with cotton balls, which are, some of them are dirty from dipping the paintbrush in, but I got this little container at Michael's craft store for like $2 because I couldn't find it at the dollar store, something that's sealed airtight. Put the cotton balls in here, put a little bit of the blending, just enough to wet your cotton balls so you can tell they're actually wet in there. And then you touch your paintbrush on the cotton ball and use it to blend out, which I could show you that as well. Use it to blend out your colored pencil. Just touch it on the cotton ball like that. And then use the blending solution to blend out your colored pencil. Let's grab a little more. This, you don't want to use too much of the blending solution, like you would with water. But it will blend out your colored pencil like that. I don't have a lot of pigment right here, so maybe we'll see. There's 3 ways to blend your colored pencil. Let's let that petal dry. And we'll go ahead and put in some pink on this petal. Touch more magenta, because it has a little dark ridge that fades into pink and then into white. So we'll put these next to each other instead of layering them on top of each other. We'll put in a good thick layer of white there. And grab our blending solution. And just pull it together. Pull it together, man. But it softens it, and it will blend your colors together like it says it will. Depending on how much pigment you have on the page will depend on how much movement you get. The kind of paper you're using, if it's a smoother paper and your pigment is on top of the paper, like Bristol paper, it'll move your pigment around more, but with this drawing paper, see how it, and then you can go in on top of this stuff is really good for getting in there, letting it dries really quick, it's all dry. Getting in there and putting consecutive layers of colored pencil on, so if you don't want to fill the tooth of your paper but you want to blend like this, you can use the solution, which is nice, and it's only a couple bucks. And now that those are all blended, this feels like I feel like I should get in here and finish blending this flower now. Let's see. I'm just going to use the white blender on this back petal and really push that back there. But I want a little white edge on it, right there. And then we can come in here and see, this is the one where we blended with the colored pencil. And you can see how the light purple magenta color is going down pretty light still. It's not going down as strong because the tooth of the paper is pretty full, and that white, it's blending into the white that's on the page. So that's what's going on there. But back here, press really hard. See, it's only going to get so dark. It's not going to go back to this dark. See the difference? So there's that. And then I have a little bit left on this brush, so I'm going to gently, okay. And then we can go ahead and put more pink on this one. And white, because this back petal is pretty light. So I'm going to work from the out going in, because I don't want it to be super bright color up here on the top. But we used blending solution and light pigment here and blending solution and heavy pigment on this petal. So you can go over, ooh, come here. See how light this pigment went in on top of that white colored pencil? And then you can come in here where the blending solution was, and it'll stay pretty dark. And you can see that the tooth of the paper isn't full, and you can put in more textures. So it just depends what you want your piece to look like, how you choose to blend your stuff, if you want to blend it in this fashion. Sometimes I don't blend at all. Sometimes I just like the look of, I'll do a little sample. I like the look of the color over color. And the paper, the white of the paper peeking through, and the visual blending. Like that. And then I'll just do this corner for the white, the visual blending like that. So you've got this color, then the light pink on top kind of is this color, and then you've got your softer blended color. But the paper peeks through depending on how much pressure you use, how much pigment you're laying down. Of course, if you do a heavier application of pigment, a nice heavy application, a pretty uniform layer of your dark, and then you put your light on top of that. It's going to give you different colors, and you can play around with that too. What colors mix well together, just like watercolor or any other mixing of colors, right? And then your white on top of that with a heavy application is going to fill the tooth of the paper, and you're not going to see as much sparkle coming through. So just things to note, you know. I love color pencil. It's so much fun. But yeah, you can go back in over the top of, see, and you can even put in more white if you want to push. See, we'll go over the top of that. This is the blending solution that we used, this petal as well. And then you can get in your little details and lines and stuff. Whereas over here you can get in details and lines and stuff, but you're digging into the thickness of that, the layers of pencil on the page, which also might be desirable. Something to play with. And then this petal is very light, so I'm going to put white over here and on top. And then we'll use our blender for this petal. And just kind of push those colors together. And you can sharpen these blenders too. You can sharpen them to a point, just like any other pencil. Just so you're aware, you can stick them in a sharpener. I don't know that I use an electric sharpener to sharpen them. I don't know if it would gum up an electric sharpener. Now you can go over the top of the blending solution with this blending tool. I mean, it's art. You can do whatever you want, but like that. And maybe you'll want to soften this line back here. This, where I scribbled in that dark, the blending solution will push that pigment around on the page and blend it right out, see? And see the streaks I'm getting? That's because there's a lot of pigment on the page right now. The more pigment, the more it's going to push around on the page instead of blending. So a super light touch. Super light touch. There we go. Blended. There's our different techniques for blending. Stuff I didn't think I was going to teach today. Apparently I'm in teacher mode. Nothing wrong with that though, right? So that's our magnolias. Yeah. You can go with a super smooth look or a super textured, partial. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Alright, next spring flower I want to do is a crocus. And crocuses are purple, so, well, these ones are, so I'm going to use the metallic violet sapphire. Should we move? Should we move? Oh, I hope that was in focus. Well, my arm was there, so it was probably focused on my arm the whole time, which is fine, I guess. Hopefully that was all in focus. I'd be super bummed if it wasn't. Future editing, Stacey can deal with that. Let's come over here and do some crocuses. These grow pretty low to the ground. I'm pretty sure they come in other colors. They're not just, yeah, they're lavenders, purples, whites, combinations, yeah. Yeah, I think they might even come in yellows as well. Oh, these are pretty. Alright. Let's go here. And I'm just in Pixabay. If you guys wanna, I'm in Pixabay and I looked up spring flowers and it popped up all the different spring flowers, and I just usually stick with the first page and sketch from there. And draw these a little bigger. They're little flowers. They're not big flowers. But they're very pretty spring flowers, which I didn't used to think a crocus was a pretty flower, but I don't know, I guess age has changed my mind. They have very textured, visually textured petals. There, and then there's this one kind of rounds. And cups. It's like a little cup. It comes down. I'm going to gently just put in a little color there. It's not very purpley purple, is it? It's the metallic violet sapphire. Could have picked a different color, I suppose. And this petal. It's visually a little lower. Let's put this forward so that I can see better what I'm doing. My light that's over there is very bright. Probably don't even need it to be on, honestly. I had to let my Kindle charge. Usually my Kindle is on this little tray, like right in front of me, or in my hand. But I'm using my computer screen today because my Kindle needed to charge. I killed it. I killed it till it was dead. And then I forgot to plug it in last night. Usually when I go to bed, I plug in my Kindle and my phone at the same time. Just so that they're charged for the day. For the needs of the day. There's another petal here. Comes down like that. And up. Got kind of a thick to thin stalk going on. Like that. And this petal swoops out like that. Okay. Top of this one has a little shine on it. There we go. And there's a petal back here. they're all about even. So here has a little, that little weird heart, top of a heart shape right there. Like that. This petal's pretty wide open. And then this guy is the back of the flower behind it, or the front of the flower. I don't know. It's hard to tell. We're just gonna put it in. We're gonna put him in. He's right there. And we got another flower petal here that's cupped, and back behind this one, which has a little, kind of goes up and here, and then it has that little heart-shaped situation happening. That tip of, that's what it reminds me of, the top of a heart. Not a very prominent heart, mind you, but the top of a heart nonetheless. And then I'm gonna grab, let's grab this bold yellow and put in the center stamen, I think is what it is, in the middle. We're going to put in the middle yellow thing, which is kind of frilly and fanny. Reminds me of a jellyfish. I love to draw jellyfish. They're a favorite. If you're new to drawing and you want something fun to draw, jellyfish is the way to go, because they're very organic and you kind of can't get it wrong. The frilly ones, the ones that have the frilly long tails on them, are what I'm referring to. There. Let's grab, where's that orange? This is one of my favorite colors in the set of colored pencils that I have is Dragon Orange. I don't know why, but I love that color. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it right away. It's pretty worn down. Where did it go? I probably shouldn't take the time to dig for it. It is a great orange, though. Is it in the metallics? Oh, it's in the metallics, that's why. The Dragon Orange in the metallic set is pretty great. As you can tell, it's a shorty. I've used it a lot. It's a good one. I dig it. Alright, let's do the rest of our flowers so that we can get on with things. Let's get on with things already. Let's get some green, our green grass. These are growing in just like regular, straight up blades of grass that you find in your yard. So put some grass in, why not? Not something I draw very often, grass. Or even think about, really, like what actual grass blades look like. Something I should probably look into. I draw generally in a fairly realistic way. Not like hyper-realism, generally speaking, but in a very realistic fashion, as it were. What's a twir? So yeah. It's just how I prefer to draw. If you prefer a simpler, more cartoony way, definitely do that. You do not have to do things the way I'm doing them. This is just my preferred method. Alright. I want to put more grass in, but we really don't need it. There, that's good, right? Put this one behind this one. Yep, okay. Grass is good. Let's grab a dark color. Kind of tone down that super vibrant green. Give it a rest, man. Like that. Now we're going to play with the colors on our flower next. Yeah, it's a little less bright. I dig that. Alright, let me just zoom in a bit so you guys can see better what I'm doing. And we're going to put some color on these. What colors do we want to use? Kind of digging this magenta that we used up here. And then I want a purple. This one, light lavender. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. I'm just gonna super quick throw in a layer of the light where I want it to be on the entire flower. There, want some here. Actually, what we can do, keeping in mind where the lights are, like this one's got some lights at the top. And in there, so we just won't fill it all the way in. This one has, this ridge here has lights, so we just won't put color there. And then up here has some lights, so we just won't put color there. This guy, we have overlapping petals, so the shadows are on this one are darker because the light's filtering in from behind, it looks like. So we've got some shadows happening. It's fairly light through here. And then this part is not very light. This whole petal is not very light right there. This petal right here is all very light. And this petal back here is pretty heavily covered in color with no bright highlights on that there. Okay, so there's the base of that color. Then we can come in with this magenta color and really get in some form. Line matters. When you're just blocking in color, line matters as well. So I did go pretty up and down with most of those lines because that's it was an unconscious decision. I'll darken right through here. Nice and dark right there. Right there. And then, do I want to use white for that? Or do I want to use this pale pink? Maybe both. Pale pink right here. on top of that lavender, and then white on top of that pale pink, right there. Yeah, that'll have to work. Okay, and then I think I want to use the white to lighten the interior of this one. Keep it nice and light and bright. Blend that out a little bit. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and maybe I should sharpen this. Getting down there. There we go. Put in our bright whites. That's a thing you can do as well, especially with this pretty, this feels very waxy to me. And you can put the bright white parts in first. Like that. There. Kind of blend out our super bright petals. Like this whole petal back here is pretty bright, so I'm going to go ahead and blend it all out. Like that, right up against that yellow, like that. And this one is pretty dark, so just a light pressure to just soften it. Soften that pigment. This one's very light, so I'm going to go heavy pressure. Okay. Light pressure, scribble on all those, just for uniformity's sake. This is that light lavender again. Come in here and throw in a quick, I'm trying to speed up my, because I know it's a colored pencil piece, so it takes forever to get things where I want them to be. But for a super quick, like, sketch session, we don't need to be exacting, right? There we go. Get our dark coming in. This, like that. On the back side of this one. That. So I'm really digging The Mandalorian. I forgot, because I watched the first 2 seasons when they first came out, of course. And I forgot a bunch of stuff that happened, all the little inertia and all the little things. So I'm having a blast rewatching it. Getting in some of the texture lines. Remember, these are heavily textured flowers. That. Got a little shadow there. Textures. And then this petal back here is kind of going this direction. That. See, I love colored pencil so much. It's so much fun. Then we can go ahead and light coat of shadow there. There's a shadow here. Like that. This is in shadow. Through there. Okay. that. And this petal here is just, for some reason, it's just super light, so I'm just gonna leave it. Just gonna leave it super light, like that. And what do we want to blend with? Let's blend with the pink first. And you can blend with other colored pencils. You can get in there and burnish, which is basically blending and pushing down on the paper. When you're burnishing, you're pushing really hard on the paper usually and creating a pretty solid, shinier, like it'll be visually shinier usually. The surface. Like that. Let's not forget our highly textured situation. Like that. Come in here and get some definite lines in, like that. That's not terrible, right? Kind of get, oh, my neck. Go ahead and use the white to push the colors together right here. I did. I forgot about this metallic pencil that I started with. This one is the Violet Sapphire that I started with over here. Get in here and put our dark shadows in. Down at the bottom. And you can go over the top, just light, gentle, soft for those other shadowy areas. Gentle, soft. And I'm working in all directions so that I don't have too many direction lines. Like that. Oh yeah, this guy was pretty shadowed over here. So we'll just get him in. Now we can come in down here. Use him on the grass colors. Kind of throws some of those grasses in the back. Puts that one back in the distance. A little visual interest. Like that. And there's our crocus. Yeah. Alright. I think for today's sketch session, we'll call that good. These are all the colored pencils that we used and all the different pieces. I kept them out. I don't usually do that. I can zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pull this back down into frame. There we go. There's the desk. These are all the things we used. All the stuff we used for our drawings today. Fun, right? And a couple paintbrushes. And the Derwent palette. That's what we used today for our sketch session. Let me know what you think in the comments below if you enjoy these sketch sessions, because we could do more of them. And I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah. So don't forget to like, subscribe, all that jazz. Let's feed the algorithm animal, people. Let's feed that poor animal. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.